Small business is about courage, risk-taking, independence, and we small business owners are survivors. Everybody has an idea for a business, but how do you take that idea from mind to market? This is the place to learn.
Small Business School with Hattie Bryant.
It's a new kind of school. Together we'll learn about business from the inside out, from the people who've done it. We'll meet the men and women who are today's pioneers and quiet heroes. Their lives are the textbooks. Our classroom is the world. Hi, I'm Hattie Bryant. This is the program about starting, running, and growing a business. Every week here, typically you meet one successful small business owner who tells their secrets. But today is different. In this program, you'll meet many business owners who have proven they have staying power. The good news is that we can identify why and how companies make it past the first 3 to 5 years. Companies with staying power have these 9 qualities. A leader with a vision who's able to communicate it to others. A solid business model. In-depth understanding of the financials. Strong advisors. Consistent quality. Technology know-how. An environment for employees to thrive. An effective sales and marketing effort. And a willingness to evolve. Let's look at each of these. Number 1, a leader with a vision who's able to communicate it to others. Jim Shell has started and sold 4 businesses. When one of his companies reached 250 employees, he realized he had lost sight of his original purpose.
Visions change. They change as companies grow, as situations change. I hired a consultant, and he comes to work with us in a strategic meeting. We were having a strategic planning meeting. And he says, okay, gang, he says, we've got 8 or 10 people here. I want each of you to write down what your company's vision is and what your mission is. And I'm thinking, I'm paying a consultant for this? Give me a break. So everybody writes it down. He says, now, tell me what you wrote. Around the room we go. Everybody had a different idea of what our vision was. Everybody had a different idea of where our mission was. How can you all be going in the same direction if you don't know what direction that is, right? And from that point forward, we started to try and develop a vision and missions between our managers that made sense for our company, that made sense for the time, that took into dreams and missions change with time, particularly in a small business environment where we're moving fast, and then communicate them down to our employees so that everybody knows where we're going.
Okay, but after you determined that you agreed on the statement, does productivity increase? Do profits improve? What happens?
Well, does it help when you go on vacation? Does it help if you have a roadmap where you're going? Do you get there quicker?
Sure.
So it's a focus issue. Everybody becomes focused on where we're going, and we're all going to the same place, and hopefully we all get there at the same time.
Number 2, a solid business model. Are you retail, wholesale, manufacturing, distribution, a sales organization? In the middle of the internet revolution, old business models have been shattered. Connectivity has put more power into the hands of customers. How will you make a profit going forward? How will you position yourself in the marketplace?
How you doing, sir? Welcome to Cloud 9.
Cloud 9 was completely unlike, any other shuttle company. What we envisioned when we created the name was to do something bold and different and be radically different than our competition. Oh, look at this. This is our...
John Hawkins took a failing shared ride company and turned it around because he could see that growth would not come from catering to tourists, but to repeat riders.
We changed the strategy from a visitor-only based focus to a residential-based focus. This airport being so close to downtown, the visitor fare is roughly $5 to go downtown or back to the airport. Short distance, short fare. The residential market live in suburbs around the city, and they, in turn, are an average of $15 a fare or so.
And repeat business.
And repeat business, which is truly the smart thing.
We're walking through the breakfast room into the dining room.
Okay.
Eric Rose of E.M. Rose Builders has a special niche in the construction industry. He only builds smart homes designed by architects.
Good morning.
Shiv Krishnan's firm, Indus, web-enables existing data for primarily government agencies. Brian Jacobson and Glenn Bealey make money being the back shop for specialty designers. Pamela Rogers admits that her profits come from servicing the cars she sells. O-Pee-Chee Wine Group makes margins rise through global sourcing. And Diversified Chemicals wins customers through innovation.
Number 3, in-depth understanding of the financials. Bob Orenstein is founder of International Wine Accessories.
The ratios we look at are basically gross margins. We look at the percentage of gross dollars that falls to the bottom line. We'd like to keep it well above 10%, and of course we struggle to try to push it to 20%. Most businesses are lucky if they can get 4 or 5 or 6 or 7%. We try to keep it a lot higher if at all possible.
I am the manager here
At Hot Dog on a Stick, everybody knows the numbers.
and I pretty much just run the crew, make sure sales are, up, labor's down, and all that.
Sales are up and labor's down. What is this and why do you have it posted on the back bulletin board?
Well, basically, this is something that we use these equations each week when we fill out our payroll and weekly packet. And we use the labor percentage to find out how much money we're spending on each individual employee to have us working here.
Right.
And what we do is we calculate our average pay times how many labor hours we had for that week, and then we divide it by our sales for that week. And then we get a labor percentage, which then tells the office how much money we're spending on labor.
The brown is downstage.
At Theatrical Lighting, owners David and Janet Milley watch key numbers closely.
Are there numbers that you look at daily or weekly that you go, wow, we're doing great?
Well, we do flash reports, and we all go over those numbers. And
What's a flash report?
this is a report that tells David everything he needs to know about receivables to payables, new customers, amount of sales for last week.
I don't take risks. I take little bitty, chances, but my odds are stacked in my favor before I go borrow that $500,000. I know that even if the deal I'm putting together fails, I've got enough left over. I've got plenty of time to bail it out and put something else together. So it's not, I don't feel like we're taking a high risk.
Number 4, strong advisors. Strong advisors can come in the form of peer-to-peer groups, your CPA, attorney, banker, and insurance broker. Or you may want to follow in the path of Albert Black, owner of On Target Supply and Logistics. He has taken the time to form a board of directors.
One thing I found very attractive from Albert after the first lunch was the fact he had such an attitude about, I want to learn.
John Castle, Senior Vice President of EDS, is the chairman of Albert's board of directors.
He came and approached me and said, what do you think about the idea of creating an advisory board? We would get other people that he knew in the community that had senior positions in different companies that would meet with him periodically.
The board of directors is more of a formal relationship with On Target. Even though these people do not have a fiduciary responsibility and they serve in an advisory capacity, I send them more information on the company for them to understand the progress and the performance of the company than I do the advisory committee. What I like to think is that I'll treat them with more formality, and in return, they will be more judgmental than my advisory group.
The role we play is a sounding board. Albert brings to us his ideas, his strategies, and we give him our perspective on what he's saying. And often it's a different perspective on what we've seen, how other companies have gone through, some phases he's going through, because you start small and as you begin to grow your business, there are different transitions any small business is going to go through. And people like the people he has on the advisory board have often been through these, and they can say, here's what we saw from our perspective, let me tell you what we think you may be going through and some of the challenges you're going to face and maybe some opportunities you'll have.
Peter, thank you for all your hard work. And
Vicki Carlson, owner of Office Pavilion, the San Diego-based Herman Miller Furniture dealership, is a member of the National Dealer Council, made up of other dealers.
this is kind of the rundown of the agenda.
They meet twice a year and serve as advisors to one another.
We weren't benchmarking each other, and I thought that we could share each other's numbers. We were all doing the same things in different cities, and by coming together and benchmarking each other, we could improve. That was the basis for the whole organization. We wanted to get better.
Number 5, consistent quality. Small business owners don't have much room for error. It's hard to get the business, and it's short-sighted to lose it over lapses in quality. So, by all means, if you want staying power, deliver consistent quality. Texas Nameplate won the Texas Quality Award, then went on to be the smallest company ever to win the Malcolm Baldrige Award.
The criteria which we have applied with our people is you don't focus on results. A lot of people want to jump into results. We look at approach and we look at your deployment. If you work on the right approach and you execute that properly, you will get the results.
Everything is supposed to be exact and correct, or else if this year's not correct, then I send it back to that paper and let her make sure
So
that
it's
she put
check,
everything
double
on
check,
there.
check,
Yes.
double check.
Check and double check.
You will see, even in our process of making nameplates, when it gets to the final, to the shipping, we do not have to inspect them. They actually just weigh them because the process, as you said, has been in control.
This will be two-story. This is the loft above here.
Mike Neary builds custom log homes. Logs are hand-stripped and crafted to specifications drawn on computers. To guarantee near perfection, he assembles each home on his lot first.
It's just
the
an
lot.
extremely difficult piece, and if there's something out of whack, like an 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch,
You've got to be there.
You got to be there.
You don't
It's
want
gotta make it-
strangers cutting on your logs.
No, we try to eliminate that.
Number 6, technology know-how. Most owners, like Howard Kent, who's been running his company since the 60s, work hard to apply technologies as they evolve. The goal is always to automate and streamline business processes.
But with the advent of computers and advent of telemarketing, we can now find out how much we have in stock instantly, how much did we sell of this item year to date, this year, last year, are we increasing our sales of this, decreasing our sales of it, what's the cost? Keep track of it any way we want. We can tell when a customer last bought it. How much did they buy? How much did we make from them? When did they use this item? Is it a seasonal item? This has enabled us to cut our inventory by 1/3.
Today, there are strong companies that only exist because of advanced technologies. eHarmony launched a web service to help the millions of singles in the world find the love of their lives. This bride met this groom on eHarmony.com.
I, John, take you, Cindy, to be married. I pronounced you husband and wife in the name of the Father and the Son. If you could reduce the divorce rate from where it is now to single digits, 9 or fewer %, it would be the greatest single social revolution in the history of the human race. And all of a sudden, America would be such a different country. Over 90% of all singles want to be married if they can find the right person. So they deeply want to get married. In fact, for a lot of people, it becomes a burning yearning. The choice you make of a marriage partner will have more to do with the eventual success of your marriage than everything else combined that you do after you get married.
In 1993, Dr. Neil Clark Warren wrote the book, Finding the Love of Your Life. Then, in 1995, Greg Forgatch joined him to launch their first company to offer seminars based upon the principles in the book.
If you compare this to what we were saying,
In August of 2000, the two opened their second business, eHarmony.com. Today, the service is being used by millions of paying customers. Anyone can take the free personality profile, answer the 436 questions, and what is easy to use and seems like common sense today is the result of decades of work by Neil Clark Warren.
You have any idea what the chat volume is?
And it's the VP of Operations, Greg Steiner, who has to keep the intricate infrastructure functioning under the weight of fast growth.
The chat team able to keep up with the volume that's coming in. Do we have any really good data on the FAQ? And we make the place run. So we make every effort possible to make sure we have a very highly available service, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so people can come and find the love of their life anytime they wish.
Number 7, you must create an environment for employees to thrive. Tom Gigax built Tires Plus from zero to hundreds of millions in sales. He believes it is his ability to hire and coach people that is the key to his success. Tom shares his 4-step coaching process.
I think there are 4 steps that if a small business owner misses any one of these 4 steps, then their relationship with either their employees or their spouse, who's critical in any business, is at risk. The first is to understand the expectations of their employees. Truly understand, what do they expect out of being here? Rather than just, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. What do they expect? The second is what they expect of them, being clear. We sometimes think employees should be mind readers, but they really need to be able to understand, okay, what are you looking in terms of hours? When do you like, what about your specifics, what kind of things you want me to do? You know, those kind of things really need to be clear. Then the third step is to be able to give them feedback on how they're doing.
That's the coaching.
Yeah, that's the coaching. I mean, give them the immediate feedback that we talked about earlier. The fourth step is asking how we're doing as managers or leaders or coaches with them. We rarely ask that one.
Right.
Hey, how am I doing? And you know what they usually say? Oh, you're doing fine. Okay? Then what a leader should say? There's an old called rule of 3. People will lie until the 3rd time. So you ask them, how am I doing? They'll say, great. And you say, are you sure? Come on. Yeah, you're doing great. Come on. You're not telling me there isn't. So finally they say, well, there are a few things. So you say, what are the 3 things you like about how I'm doing? And what are the 3 things that I can do better?
Great.
And you start saying that to certain employees. Wow, you're going to hear some powerful things.
John O'Keefe needs creativity from employees, so he looks for the unusual, then works to build a team.
Make sure that everyone understands exactly what they need to do, why they do it, when they need to do it for. It's kind of like a doctor's surgery. People are in and out every day. These guys all in here and the guys over in the sales office. It's a musketeer thing. It's all for one and one for all, and you have to create that kind of mentality. People buy people first, and we employ people here. We employ people because they're unusual. They're different. They think outside the box. They're different types of people. You know, one guy came to an interview in a check suit, a totally tartan check suit. And you know, this guy was unusual, but he was actually capable of being able to deliver as well.
Where's this guy now?
Well, that's actually Nick. He's our technical director.
I actually turned up in a tartan suit. And he actually said to me, he says, he's either good or he's mad. And he made the decision that I was good.
I employed a copywriter because his last job on his CV, he was a human cannonball for a circus. So these are, you look for unusual people.
Ann Byler built from 0 to 400 million in sales by focusing on making sure employees feel good. Ahmad Shabani pays attention to the personal growth of each person at Omnex.
He can teach you anything, like he can introduce you, he can build a good personality of you, yeah. He's a smart guy.
The key to success with people is clear. Thriving companies are led by great communicators. Number 8, have an effective sales and marketing effort. At Los Angeles-based Renegade Animation, the sales job is outsourced to a New York agent.
Scott Mooney of Country Supply uses the mail to reach his 400,000 horse-loving customers. Cafe Pilon sends one of its owners in person to call on major accounts. Ziba Design gets plenty of attention by winning awards. And Wahoo's Fish Taco supplies free food for events attended by its core customers, surfers. Texas Jet's selling strategy is based upon delivering excellent customer service that ensures repeat business. Customers like these keep coming back. Let the team at Texas Jet throw out the red carpet and bring your ground transportation right to the door of your airplane. No lines, no crowds, no delays. Red carpet treatment all the way.
When we pull up on the ramp, they come out and, roll out the red carpet for us, literally.
Reed Pigman developed Texas Jet out of Piper Southwest, an aircraft sales company he purchased in 1978. Today, he operates 13 hangars totaling more than 225,000 square feet and supplies 2/3 of the fuel at Meacham.
They're buying fuel, but what they really want is not the fuel. Obviously, they need the fuel to make the airplane fly, but they want the other amenities that we offer.
Battery switch? Battery switch.
I can't just be okay. I have to be excellent. I have to be excellent at what I do.
Number 9, a willingness to evolve. Steve Hoffman started in business printing quality photos for the real estate industry. He's still printing quality photos, but you can see for yourself he has evolved.
Fortunately, we started with technology first. When we went to Modern Postcard, the only way that we could do it was to have everything internal be digitized. Everything was digital from the very beginning with Modern Postcard. The key things with color is it has to be in a register and the color has to be good. And the only way you can do that is through digital technology. We solved the problems back in 1993, 94 in terms of doing that. And so internally, we had a completely digital workflow. Now is a question of how do we take people's information and stuff from the outside inside, because we already knew where the landmines were. Well, first of all, we made a pact not to ever do postcards.
Who's we?
Jim Toya Brown, my vice president, my wife.
She worked for the company then?
She was actually one of our real estate photographers.
Oh.
And we were driving up to go skiing, and I said, you know, we were just talking about business, and I said, you know, I think that we could probably do postcards just by taking a sheet of paper and cutting it into 4 sheets of paper, basically. And they said, no, absolutely not. I don't want to have anything to do with something that inexpensive, and they basically promised me to drop the whole subject of postcards.
They felt it was demeaning?
It was, yeah, well, we were heading more towards larger brochures and more quality and going the other direction. I kept trying to bring it down to what people could afford.
Right.
If we apply the technology of the day towards that, we could actually produce something that the market would respond to. Actually, I was probably not the strongest believer in the postcards, because it was a lot of work. And we were used to getting in work from professional photographers, right. Then we would get the quality. When you take in work from amateurs,
like me,
they send in 1-hour photo prints and want you to reproduce it, and sometimes you get transparencies that are way overexposed, underexposed, off color, and our philosophy back then was garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
And there wasn't the technology to solve the problem economically. Color separation was very expensive, very time consuming, and we, fortunately, Photoshop was the newest application on the block, right. But it ran on a Macintosh, which totally choked on an 8-megabyte file. So, but Silicon Graphics had one. Just the timing of everything, like within months of when Photoshop came out on Silicon Graphics, we had it on our machine, and lo and behold, we could take a photograph and change the color and edit it to our press needs, and we were off and running at that point.
And you had how many employees then?
16.
16. So really, the postcard product is what catapulted the company.
Yes, absolutely. One of the key things that I heard, I think it was in a book a long time ago, is that everybody wants to get to heaven, but nobody wants to die to get there. That's one of the key things that I've always felt is that from day one with my business was I didn't care about the number of hours, I didn't care about the effort. I was there to build an organization, to grow it, and serve my customers and my employees. I love it. I love it.
Staying power. A hero is one who knows how to hang on 1 minute longer. Norwegian proverb. These 9 qualities needed for success over the long haul are hard, but not impossible. Good luck, and we'll see you next time.
Small Business School with Hattie Bryant.
If you want to learn more about starting, running, and growing a business, come to our website, smallbusinessschool.org. There's streaming video and interactive study guides.
The only way we can compete with big business is to be faster, smarter, and better. We are the engine of the American economy. We create the jobs. Small business is about big commitment. It's about sacrifice and struggle. But we do it because we say, if I don't do this, my life won't be complete.